Dear friends, welcome back to Alpha Physio Pelvic Care, all things pelvic health. My name is Anastasia Varova and this is part 2 for our festive videos of cough and sneeze and leaking pelvic floor. Sorry to put it for you that way, but we are here to help ourselves with all things pelvic health. If you watched my first video, I explained to you in theory why do we have leaks when we cough and sneeze, especially now that there is a cold season, and maybe you can also hear it from my voice. I also myself have a cough now and cold as I record this video. In this particular video, I will show you techniques and things you can do to help yourself in the moment when you're having a cough bout or a sneeze, what you can do in that particular moment to reduce your chances of leaks. In the beginning, the original plan was to make a video with theory, which I did, and then part 2 with a practice. But I decided that it can be a little bit too much to put all the practice and exercises and techniques in one video, so I will split it in 3 parts. So welcome to part 2. Today, as I said, I will going to show you things that you will do to help yourself in that moment. And it does not apply only to whenever you have cough, or generally if you do suffer sometimes from the leaks. Maybe you gave birth recently, maybe you're on your way to recovery and strengthening your pelvic floor, but right now things happen. What you can do to help yourself, because let's be honest, it's all nice in theory. Yes, we have to do our pelvic floor exercises and keep our pelvic floor strong, but life is life, and sometimes we're in a situation where we just don't want to pee ourselves. We're in a social setting and the bladder is full, the toilet is far, and the sneeze is coming. And what can we do just to prevent this awkward situation happening to us? If you watch this video, if you watch other my videos, I would really appreciate if you drop that like, comment, let me know about your experiences, let me know if you used any of this technique, did it help you, and let's begin. Number 1, the chair. If you do have an urge, for example, to go to the toilet, or you know that your bladder or even your bowel is full and you're ready to go to the toilet, but you feel like, whoa, the cough is coming and I'm coughing here, and am I leak? Am I pass gas? And it's really kind of uncomfortable situation. Sit yourself down for that moment. You will need to try and test this a little bit, because there are other techniques that you actually do in standing, and it really depends which might help you. Some people will feel that standing techniques might help them better. Some people will feel that sitting on a chair will help them better. And the reason why you sit on a chair is the very much reason why we actually might get weaker pelvic floor in the beginning. The chair does the job for the pelvic floor. So this is the surface. It presses against your pelvis, or even you can help yourself a little bit to press yourself a little bit more into the chair, and then you can have your cough and sneeze. For example, I'm feeling that my so I'm pushing myself up. This helps me automatically to engage my core, because our core automatically tries to stabilize us when we push ourselves or pull ourselves or try to push something. Plus, we press our pelvic floor muscles against the surface, and the surface partially overtakes the function of pelvic floor muscles. For some people, that might be just enough to avoid any leaks. Number 2, we continue on the same chair, on the same kind of side, and this technique can be used in sitting and standing. I will show you this in sitting, is leaning forward. When you lean forward and cough, you kind of take off the pressure from the bladder and inner organs, because bladder contains urine that eventually might leak. You take off the pressure from the bladder, transfer it to your hands, and again, if you press against your legs, it might help you to increase that deep intra-abdominal pressure instead of pushing down, lifting everything, and also coming forward reduces that angle and the pressure of the bladder, and therefore you might just about to avoid a leak. We're coming onto our standing technique. In whatever setting you're standing, there is no chance for you to sit down. The first technique I teach, which you should be trying, is called the knock. This is a pelvic floor contraction just before you cough. This is essentially a very strong Kegel, and this is something that I use for my clients to check them, to check their pelvic floor on a cough and sneeze. What does the knock mean? You think about your pelvic floor muscles, and if you're not sure which one these are, you can go to my very second video, which is called Kegels Are So Old School and What to Do Instead. And you can see how I describe in details where the pelvic floor muscles are and how to contract them. Otherwise, you think about your anus, your vagina, that whole area around the penis, whatever works for you, yeah, whichever gender you are as well. And you're going, let's say, to think about lifting those muscles. Now, please note, this is not squeezing glutes, doing the leg squeeze. This will come later. Right now, we want only those muscles of the pelvic floor. We want them to be lifted, okay? And before you do the cough, you lift them and you try to hold them as strong as possible and you cough. If you've never done this before, it might be difficult for you. If you've never done Kegels and your muscles are weak, you might struggle to find these muscles. Still, try to do it. And also you can watch later on part 3 and see how you can improve your pelvic floor muscle strength. When you're standing, we want to use all the strategies to prevent us from leaking. As we cough with a full bladder, not the time to think about my pelvic floor state. The time is to think about how not to get wet around my trousers, skirts, whatever. So a great helper in that part is our butt, okay? Our bottom muscles, it's second pelvic, it's not the second pelvic floor, actually part of the pelvic floor. And this is why I also have a workout. It's called the video, The Workout You Did Not Expect. There is a lot of gluteal muscles involvement. If you work your glutes, your pelvic floor is very likely to work along. So the same strategy applies when you cough and sneeze. So I'm going to sneeze now. And that was a cough. And you try to squeeze your glutes to the max. This will first of all push your coccyx in. It will close slightly the bottom part, the outlet of the pelvis. And these muscles will take along the pelvic floor and might just squeeze them enough for you to prevent the leaks. For some people, it's obvious, right? But for some people, it's something like, oh, I should have done it before I leaked. So this is a strategy for you to keep in your mind. Now, the strategy that I think that every single person who is either mom or pelvic floor physiotherapist have seen this meme. It's, mom is telling the kids she crosses the legs because of them. So yeah, crossing the legs, of course, it can be a strategy when you are going to cough and sneeze. So before you feel like, and you can actually do it together with the knock, with the pelvic floor squeeze. Sometimes you can just rotate your legs in, so in, and this will come together with the bottom squeeze. So whatever it takes to squeeze up things here, that works. And if you need to cross your legs, guys, this is not the time to think about, this is cheating. I'm not really doing my pelvic floor exercises, because we're not. We're trying to prevent socially awkward situations. Another one, which already I showed you on the chair, same thing applies in standing, especially when you're pregnant. In pregnancy, this works great. You're going to cough and sneeze. You lean onto your hand, lean slightly forward. If you're pregnant, this will remove some pressure from the bladder of the baby, and the baby adds plenty of pressure for the bladder, right? Or even if you're not pregnant, even if you're a guy, you can use this forward lean. Guys actually do not have that much of a leak on a cough. It can happen. They're not excluded completely. They have it less just because they have longer urethra, and urethra that curves over due to anatomy. It curves over around the area of prostate. So it kind of prevents that leak coming down. For women, it's 3-4 centimeters straight down, and yeah, you get leaks easier. Right, my friends, I hope these kind of techniques will stay in your mind. You can put them as your management strategy in the moment when you're there. But please, please, if you do feel like, okay, it might happen once, it might happen twice, when you're really full, you had some Christmas wine and you had some Coca-Cola and a cup of tea, another cup of tea, and your bladder is full, and you were sneezing, and you had a bit of a leak, okay, that might happen. But if this is something that is happening to you again and again and again, and maybe even not with a full bladder, it is time to get the work done. And this will be done in part 3 in our festive workout video. And in that video, I will combine prevention of the leaks and something else, just to give you the incentive to have a look and do it. We will see you back very, very soon. Take care and enjoy the holidays.